They say you could hear the screams long before you saw what caused them. Summer 1462. You're an Ottoman soldier marching with the most unstoppable war machine the world had ever seen. You helped seize Constantinople. You shattered kingdoms. Now, you're heading toward a minor principality called Wallachia to put down a defiant local ruler. This campaign should be simple, a few weeks, maybe less. Then the first stench hits you. Rot, decay, something so foul you can taste it. The march slows. Scouts refuse to go farther. And when you finally crest the rise overlooking the capital, you understand why. A forest, but not of trees, of people. 20,000 human bodies raised on wooden stakes like grotesque monuments. Many swollen and blackened by weeks under the sun. Others still twitching, still conscious, still screaming. Your commander, the same sultan whose armies broke the Byzantine Empire, takes one long look and quietly orders a full retreat. What kind of mind could conceive something like this? And here's what should terrify you most. This wasn't insanity. It was strategy. Cold, deliberate, and devastatingly effective. The legend of Vlad the Impaler isn't wrong because it exaggerates. It's wrong because the truth is far darker. This is the full account of how one man weaponized suffering so completely that he shifted the course of empires. And by the end, you'll understand that the real horror wasn't the bodies, it was what he did to the human mind. Vlad is just 11. His father, Vlad II, known as Vlad the Dragon, makes a deal with the Ottoman Sultan Murad II. In exchange for keeping his throne, he hands over his two youngest sons as living guarantees of loyalty. So Vlad and his brother Radu are taken from their home and transported deep into the heart of the empire. Not thrown into chains, but placed in the luxurious courts of Edirne and later Adrianople. They receive fine clothes, tutors, training in warfare, literature, languages, the Quran. It looks like privilege. It wasn't. It was psychological conditioning. A slow, methodical breaking. Vlad spent the most impressionable years of his life watching an empire wield fear like a surgical tool. He learned how executions became theater, how terror could keep entire nations in line. He learned how rulers made obedience instinctive. And he learned helplessness. While his brother Radu adapted to palace life, even befriending Mehmed, the Sultan's son, Vlad resisted. Ottoman chronicles mention punishments, possibly beatings, maybe worse. Whether or not the details survived, one fact is clear. Something inside him hardened or shattered. He developed an obsessive need for control, a belief that the world would crush him unless he crushed it first. And he studied every punishment he received, every execution he witnessed, turning them into tools he'd one day unleash. In 1448, after 6 years in captivity, Vlad returned to Wallachia. He was 17. 2 months later, his father was dead, betrayed and murdered by the scheming boyar nobles. His older brother, buried alive. He had no allies, no army, no power. But he had something else, a blueprint for how fear could rebuild a broken land. He waited 6 more years, gathering knowledge, allies, and rage. Then in 1456, with Hungarian backing, he seized the Wallachian throne. The monster the Ottomans had forged was about to reveal itself. His coronation feast could have been a celebration. Instead, it became a purge. He invited the boyar families, the same nobles who had murdered his father and tortured his brother. Hundreds arrived in their finest attire. The hall glittered with banners and wine. Then Vlad stood and asked a single question. "How many princes of Wallachia have you survived?" The elders boasted proudly. 7, 10, 12 rulers. They were bragging about their ability to outlive every prince? Vlad smiled, then ordered them all arrested. The elderly and influential were impaled immediately outside the palace walls, slowly dying to the sound of their own screams echoing over the city. The younger nobles and their families were driven north to the ruins of Ponyari Fortress. There they labored like slaves, rebuilding the stronghold stone by stone, day and night, until most dropped from exhaustion. Those who survived would never challenge him again. He had erased the old aristocracy and replaced it with people who feared him more than death. This was not just vengeance, it was statecraft through terror. Sultan Mehmed II, Vlad's former childhood companion, sent envoys demanding tribute and Vlad's personal submission in Constantinople. When the envoys arrived, they refused to remove their turbans, citing religious custom. Vlad listened calmly, nodded, then said, "If your turbans are so sacred, allow me to make sure they never leave your heads." He ordered the guards to nail the turbans to their skulls. He purposely didn't kill them. He sent them back alive. They were human messages, living, bleeding warnings delivered straight to the Sultan. Mehmed realized instantly this was no longer the boy he knew. War was inevitable. But Vlad had more horrors prepared. Most people imagine a stake shoved straight through the torso. That would be merciful. Vlad used a more methodical version. The victim was laid face down. A sharpened, rounded, greased stake was inserted through the rectum. Its angle was calculated to avoid vital organs. The victim was raised upright. Gravity did the rest. Hours, sometimes days, conscious, screaming, dying slowly. And Vlad staged the displays like theater. Nobles, higher stakes. Peasants, lower. Commanders, highest of all. Sometimes arranged in geometrical symbols, circles, spirals, stars. It was terror as architecture. German pamphlets, Europe's earliest horror bestsellers, depicted Vlad dining among the impaled. Whether or not this exact scene happened, the symbolism stuck. Vlad wasn't trying to shock, he was trying to dominate the imagination. And it worked. By early 1462, Mehmed had had enough. He assembled an army of 60,000 to 90,000 men, more than the entire male population of Wallachia. This wasn't conquest, it was annihilation. Vlad had maybe 20,000 to 30,000 soldiers. A normal battle meant suicide. So he refused to fight normally. He burned his own fields, poisoned wells, evacuated villages, destroyed infrastructure. The Ottomans marched into a wasteland. Then came the night raids, small units slipping into camps, killing guards, burning supplies, vanishing like phantoms. Tension, exhaustion, paranoia. Then came June 17th, 1462, Vlad's masterpiece, the night attack. Disguised in Ottoman uniforms, Vlad led 10,000 men into the massive Ottoman camp. Their goal? Kill the Sultan himself. Chaos erupted. Fires, screams, confusion. Some accounts say Vlad and Mehmed briefly saw each other through the flames. The Janissaries barely saved the Sultan. Militarily, the Ottomans lost little. Psychologically, they were nearly broken. Then they reached Targovishte and saw the forest. No description can truly capture what the Ottomans saw, but here is what eyewitnesses recorded. Bodies stretched for miles, 15,000 to 20,000 in total, arranged in precise formations, some long dead, others still twitching, still conscious, still screaming. The Sultan stared silently, then said, "A man capable of such deeds cannot be stripped of his land."
Within days, he ordered a retreat. The most powerful army in the world had been defeated, not by force, but by fear. Vlad had won. But terror is a weapon with no safety switch. After the Ottoman retreat, Vlad turned his methods on everyone: merchants, boyars, peasants, entire villages. His allies abandoned him. His brother Raju returned with Ottoman support. Hungary arrested Vlad. He spent 12 years in comfortable captivity before being restored briefly to the throne in 1476. 2 months later, he was dead, killed in battle or by his own men. His head was sent to Constantinople in honey. His body vanished forever. In Romania, he's honored as a symbol of national resistance. In the West, he's remembered as a monster thanks to Bram Stoker. But the truth is neither myth nor legend. The truth is this: Vlad wasn't born a monster. He was molded by a world that taught him that fear is the purest form of power. He didn't invent terror, he perfected it. He didn't rely on madness, he relied on psychology. And the most disturbing part? It worked. He turned back an empire through fear alone, and that forces us to ask, if such horror can be so effective, what does that say about us?